Hello and welcome to the NexusMindPodcast. I am your host, Abiola Michael, and no matter where you're listening from today, whether it's in the morning, afternoon, or the quiet hours of the night, I want you to know that I'm genuinely grateful you've chosen to spend the next few minutes of your time with me. And this podcast exists for people who know that there is more to life than simply getting through the day. It's for people who are willing to ask deeper questions, challenge familiar thinking, and grow into the person they're becoming. Around here, we don't chase empty motivation, we pursue transformation through honest conversations, through personal reflections, and uncomfortable truths. We learn to think differently about ourselves, our relationships, our purpose, and the world around us. So, wherever you are right now, get comfortable, take a deep breath, and let's have a conversation. Because today's conversation began with something incredibly ordinary. It started earlier than now. It started with a pair of earrings. And somehow those earrings asked me a question I couldn't stop thinking about. I couldn't help but wonder why the number 5? Why not 3? Why not 7? Or why not 10? Yeah, I know you must be wondering what am I pondering about. Yes, earlier today, I saw a young lady wearing earrings with the number 5 hanging from them. At first, I smiled and moved on, but a few steps later, I stopped because my mind refused to let it go. Why 5? What does it mean? Was it just fashion? Or there was something deeper hidden inside something so ordinary? Then it dawned on me. Sometimes life whispers before it shouts. Sometimes the greatest lessons don't arrive through dramatic moments. Sometimes they become disguised as earrings. Now, one thing I noticed about many of us is how quickly we moved on through life, or we're still moving through life though. Everything is fast. Fast conversations, fast scrolling, fast decisions, fast reactions. I mean, every single thing is fast. We are constantly rushing towards the next thing that we're forgetting how to pause. We have stopped noticing, we have stopped wondering, we have stopped asking questions. And maybe that's why life feels so empty sometimes. Not because life has become less meaningful, but because we have become less attentive. Now, think about it. When was the last time something ordinary made you stop and think? Something as ordinary as a leaf falling from a tree, or a child's laughter, or the smell of the rain, or even a stranger's smile. We are surrounded by lessons every single day, yet we have often distracted ourselves so we barely hear them. Now, I realized something. A lot of us, we are so focused on achieving the next milestone that we had unintentionally lost our sense of curiosity. I mean, as children, we asked about every single thing. Mommy, why is the sky blue? Daddy, why do birds fly? Why does the moon follow the car? I mean, that's even funny. But adulthood slowly replaces curiosity with certainty. We stopped asking questions. We assume we already know enough. And maybe that's one of the biggest losses we experience without realizing it. Curiosity isn't childish. It's one of the purest signs that we are still growing. So there I was, standing there, just standing still, thinking about a simple number 5. And somehow that number started teaching me. Damn. The more I reflected on it, the more fascinating the number 5 became. Now think about your hand. 5 fingers, each completely different. None of them can replace another. Your thumb can't do what your little finger does. Your index finger has a different assignment. Your middle finger has a different length. Your ring finger carries symbols of commitment in many cultures. Your Lulu finger seems small, yet remove it. You will immediately discover how much strength you have lost by just losing that middle finger. Now that amazed me, because life works in the same way. Bring that into reality. We spend so much time comparing ourselves with other people, wondering why our journey doesn't look like theirs, why our gifts aren't the same, why our opportunities seem fewer. But nature has already been teaching us something. Difference doesn't destroy unity, it creates it. Now, imagine if every finger looked exactly alike. Your hand would function in a different way. It wouldn't have functioned the same way it does, feeling that your fingers are different in sizes and lengths right now, Maybe that's true about families. Maybe that's true about friendships. Maybe that's true about communities. Maybe that's true about us. Your uniqueness isn't a mistake. It's part of the design. Then I started thinking about senses. In fact, this one got me thinking more. 5 beautiful gifts we've often taken for granted. The ability to see, the ability to hear, the ability to taste, the ability to smell, and the ability to touch. Every single day, these senses quietly introduces us to the world. The warmth of the sunlight on your skin, the sound of someone calling your name, the aroma of fresh coffee, the sweetness of ripe fruits, the embrace of someone you love. These moments, they seem ordinary until one day they are gone, and suddenly you understand their value. Isn't it interesting? We often appreciate things only after we lose them. Now, what if gratitude didn't have to wait for loss? What if today became enough reason to appreciate what we have always overlooked? Just what if? Now, life will constantly offer distractions, but purpose offers direction. There's a difference, Now, being busy isn't the same as moving forward. Activity isn't always progress. Sometimes you're exhausted because you're climbing the wrong mountain. The star reminds us to keep checking our direction, not just our speed. In fact, The more I ponder upon it, the more it seems so fascinating. Now, look at the five essential elements of life: earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Whether you interpret that spiritually, symbolically, or philosophically, the message remains one beautiful message. Life survives because of balance. Look at it. Too much fire destroys, too much water floods, too much air becomes a storm, too much earth becomes immovable. Now, just look at that balance. That's the lesson. Not perfection, but balance. Some of us has become successful professionally, but emotionally exhausted. Others have become spiritually active, but physically neglected. Some have built impressive careers while losing meaningful relationships. Now, growth isn't about becoming bigger in one area. It's about becoming healthier across all areas. Balance is quieter than success, but it is often far more sustainable. Now, another thought just ran through my mind. It felt so simple at first, but then I understood that the number is so unique that it reminded me to just pause and think. It reminded me to just notice, to observe, to slow down, to remain focused, and to let everyday life become my teacher again. Because wisdom doesn't always arrive through books sometimes. It arrives through conversations. Sometimes it arrives through silence. Sometimes through failure. Sometimes through a child asking an unexpected question. And sometimes through a pair of earrings. Life is constantly speaking. But the question is, are we listening? Every sunrise says something. Every goodbye teaches something. Every day reveals something. Every disappointment shapes something. Nothing is wasted if we are willing to pay attention. And perhaps that's the invitation the number 5 gave me today. Not to become fascinated with numbers, but to become fascinated with life again. So before this episode becomes a past tense, I would love to leave you with a few reflections, not as rules, but as gentle invitations. The next time something catches your attention, don't dismiss it too quickly. Ask yourself, why did this stand out to me? Maybe your curiosity is trying to lead you somewhere. Spend more time observing, less time assuming. Look at your own life the way an artist studies a blank canvas. Pay attention to the details. Celebrate your uniqueness instead of comparing yourself with other people. And remember your hand. Every finger has a purpose, so do you. Seek balance instead of chasing endless achievements. Protect your peace as intentionally as you pursue your goals. And perhaps most importantly, remain curious. Curiosity keeps the heart young, it keeps the mind alive, it keeps growth possible. Never become so certain that you stop learning, because the people who continue asking questions are often the ones who continue discovering new parts of themselves. Now, if today's conversation reminded you of anything, I hope it is this: life is speaking far more often than we realize. The question isn't whether meaning exists. The question is whether we are paying enough attention to recognize it. Maybe your own number 5 is already sitting quietly somewhere in your life. Maybe it's a conversation you have been avoiding. Maybe it's a lesson hidden inside disappointment. Maybe it's the smile of a stranger. Maybe it's a dream you have been too afraid to revisit. Whatever it is, don't ignore it. Sometimes the smallest moments become the biggest turning points. Before we leave, I would love to pray for you. And I pray, may you develop eyes that see beyond the obvious. May your heart remain curious in a world rushing towards certainty. May you find balance when life feels overwhelming, courage when change feels uncomfortable, and wisdom in the ordinary moments you might otherwise overlook. If this episode spoke to you, I would love to hear from you. What does the number 5 mean to you? Has an ordinary moment ever completely changed your perspective? Now, share your thoughts in the comments. Send this episode to someone who needs it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, leave a rating, and share the Nexus Mind podcast with someone who values meaningful conversations. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, stay curious, stay grounded, and never stop paying attention to the quiet lessons life is offering. Stay mindful, keep growing, and welcome to the Nexus. I am Abiola Michael, and this is the NexusMindPodcast. See you next time.